Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a false alarm causing a lockdown at a Connecticut university, a major ecstasy bust by state police, and much more. Frank Rita will have your forecast and later on your Nutmeg Sports Update, and Donald Lang will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Western Connecticut State University and nearby schools were placed on lockdown Monday afternoon after reports arose of a man carrying a gun on campus. Now, it turned out that that man was a school employee carrying a mic stand. Now, the News-Times reports that state and city police officers surrounded Whitehall shortly before noon after witnesses reported seeing a man with long hair and jeans walking into a building with what they described as a long gun. Well, police began a room-by-room search while other officers guarded other campus buildings, and the fire department used a drone to survey rooftops in the area. Now, summer classes were underway, according to the News-Times, and students from Henry Abbott Technical High School were using the nursing lab. Officials ordered a lockdown not only on the campus itself, but also at all of the city's public and private schools. Now, university spokesman Paul Stemets said that the employee was one of several in the media services department who routinely videotape high school graduations in the area. Now, according to officials, he was just bringing some equipment into that building that someone mistook as a rifle. And a traffic stop Sunday afternoon on I-95 in West Haven led to the seizure of more than 3,000 ecstasy pills. Now, on June 3rd at about 2:50 in the afternoon, troopers from Troop G in Bridgeport conducted a motor vehicle stop near exit 42 after they say that driver made a cell phone violation. Well, upon speaking with that operator, 47-year-old Anthony Pierre, troopers determined probable cause to search that car. Now, through the course of the search, troopers located about 3,300 pills, or over 1,000 grams of MDMA and 4.7 grams of marijuana. Now, in addition, 4 children were inside of that car, all of whom were related to Pierre. Now, Pierre, who's from Georgia, was taken into custody and transported to Troop G, where he was charged with a cell phone violation, as well as possession of a controlled substance, possession of hallucinogens with intent to sell, as well as possession of untaxed controlled substances, and 4 counts of risk of injury to a minor. Now, those children were all released to family members. And the Stratford Police Department is attempting to identify a man who is suspected of stealing credit cards from a vehicle parked at Paradise Green. Now, police said on Monday that that man was spotted on surveillance cameras stealing credit cards from a parked car believed to be an older model Honda Accord, and then using those cards at different establishments in town. Police said the car has some damage on its left front bumper, and they're asking anyone with information to contact detectives at 203-381-6902. And in other news, Ansonia police have charged a man and his wife with taking thousands of dollars in payments for home improvement projects while allegedly never doing that work. Now, on May 31st, Ansonia police arrested 37-year-old Richard Signor of 71 Emmett Avenue in Derby by warrant. And on June 1st, Ansonia police arrested Melissa Marty Signor, age 36. Now, both face first-degree larceny and conspiracy charges. Now, that married couple's arrests were a result of an investigation into the company owned and operated by both of them, which is called M&R Remodeling. Now, the department received a complaint that that company failed to complete remodeling work after receiving payment. The investigation showed that $134,000 was paid to M&R Remodeling for a home addition, and that only $69,000 worth of work was completed before that company stopped working at the house and refused to reimburse that unused balance. And in other news, the New Canaan Board of Education has agreed to set up a committee in September, including members of the community, to continue research on school start and end times. Now, nearly every one of 60 seats were filled at a Monday, June 4th school board meeting as people came to hear Superintendent Dr. Brian Lizzie talk about the research conducted by the school administration on school start and end times. Now, the superintendent explained that he has been in favor of later start times ever since he had attended a forum on the topic. He stressed that the focus needs to be on making sure that the students do indeed get more sleep. Now, our New Canaan advertiser was there at the meeting. Take a look.
Without kind of a focused conversation about that time, what happens is the things that happen in the afternoon start to happen in the morning. Whether it's meetings, extra help, tutoring, SAT classes, practices, those types of things. And so I think that that's an important part of the conversation. Another piece that came out as we were in the auditorium learning from the folks who really were very knowledgeable was about device use and how the circadian rhythm that we talk about and the melatonin that's released that helps you to get to sleep will be delayed if you're staring at a screen. And there are ways that you can adjust your screen by setting it to night shift mode, things like that, but it still will delay the melatonin release.
That story now at ncadvertiser.com. Well, national gas prices have halted their upward climb in 33 states, and Connecticut is in that group as prices remain unchanged from a week ago. This according to AAA Northeast. Now, on Monday, June 4th, average prices for a gallon of self-serve regular gas in Connecticut is $3.15. Now, that's the same price that it was last week. But a year ago, prices were 64 cents lower at $2.51 a gallon. Well, nationally, gas prices have dropped 2 cents from last week, with today's average price at $2.95. Now, this is the first time there's been a decrease in the national average since mid-March. Now, can this be the start of stable prices at the pumps? Perhaps. Now, as crude oil prices drop, global oil production has increased. That, according to Fran Mako, the AAA Northeast spokesman. She said that means that worldwide inventories are increasing along with global demand. All right, taking a turn right now, we're going to get a look at your forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. A little bit warmer out today, humidity on the rise, and we could be seeing a passing thunderstorm later on today. A look out at Route 8 a little bit earlier. That's not the case anymore, as some cloud cover has moved in. A mix of sun and clouds expected through the afternoon. We will see a passing shower or thunderstorm at some point before this evening, and then mostly cloudy overnight with a chance for one more shower or two. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds as well. Should be dry, though. The big issue the next few days, Kate, we're looking at a real high pollen count. Allergies are going to be tough through the rest of the week. Partly sunny on Thursday, temperatures in the high 60s, low 70s the next few days. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And we are going to step out for a break. Come back. Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. We have more local news and your Nutmeg Sports update after this.
Winter's finally in the rearview mirror, and the Dock Shop is ready to help you usher in our favorite season, summer. We've got new offerings in our usual products: clothing, jewelry, home decor, fishing tackles, and boating supplies. And now the Dock Shop does in-house laser engraving. You can add a name, a boat name, latitude, longitude, an image to drinkware, serving platters, boards, or decorative accessories. No minimum, fast turnaround. Stop in today and start your summer. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866. If you've ever thought about it.
Welcome back to this June 5th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, a big 50th anniversary, and for the most part, we're going east today, starting in 1883 with the first run of the Orient Express, which departs Paris for Istanbul today. Now, what started as a routine international train would go on to become synonymous with luxury and intrigue. Agatha Christie's 1934 murder mystery, the best-known literary work to feature the Orient Express, but it also played a prominent role in the novels Dracula, From Russia with Love, and Around the World in 80 Days. 1981, the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report for the Center for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 5 otherwise healthy men in Los Angeles had been diagnosed with a rare form of pneumonia previously diagnosed only in those with severely compromised immune systems, and 2 of those men had died. The 2 would turn out to be the first recognized cases of acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, that is AIDS. Within 18 months, the CDC had identified the risk factors for AIDS transmission and published recommendations for prevention. Since then, the CDC has published more than 400 studies about HIV and AIDS. 1989, a lone man halts a column of advancing tanks for over a half hour after following the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989. Now, the fate of the person we know only as Tank Man remains unknown. The government officially says they never found him and that he most likely simply faded back into society. The image of Tank Man, perhaps the 20th century's most iconic of defiance in the face of oppression, except in China, where you will get arrested for circulating it. Finally, now we go to 1968, 50 years ago today in California for this.
Robert Kennedy still is unconscious in the intensive care unit of the Good Samaritan Hospital in Los Angeles. It is 17 hours since he was shot. It is 11 hours since a team of surgeons completed the 3-hour and 40-minute operation to remove the bullet in his brain and the bone fragments it caused. The second medical bulletin was issued less than 3 hours ago. The senator at that time was described by his press secretary, Frank Mankiewicz, as being still in extremely critical condition. Mankiewicz said various tests had been performed on the senator, and they did not show any observable improvement or discernible improvement.
Presidential candidate Robert Kennedy shot on this day just minutes after winning California's Democratic primary. He would die the next day. Kennedy's assassin, 24-year-old stable boy Sirhan Sirhan, whose motives was Kennedy's support for Israel in the Six-Day War the year before. Originally given the death penalty, the sentence was commuted in 1972. Now 74 years old, Sirhan is eligible for parole beginning in 2021. That is your look back in history for today, June 5th, and I'm Donald Lane.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, getting back to your local news, realtors in New Canaan are trying something new when it comes to selling homes by eliminating those for sale signs you see out in front of a property. Now, citing a landslide vote by New Canaan realtors in favor of a ban on for sale signs and an overwhelming response to the survey, New Canaan Board of Realtors President Janice Hennessy reported that a trial ban on the signs will start July 1st and will go through January 1st, 2019. Now, 73% of New Canaan realtors favor a ban on those for sale signs either permanently or on a trial basis. Now, the survey was conducted in response to the Board of Realtors membership and Town Council Chairman John Engel. Engel had reported that he had heard opinions from citizens and fellow realtors that said having many for sale signs along the streets creates a negative image of New Canaan. Now, Hennessy also said millennials and other potential buyers are shopping for real estate online, and they've seen how eliminating the signs has improved the look of other towns in Fairfield County without impacting the real estate markets. There's more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And now that prom season is nearly over, the Darien Community Association Thrift Shop is hosting a prom dress drive. Now, residents are invited to pay it forward and drop off their prom dresses at the DCA Thrift Shop for someone else's purchase. Now, the thrift shop is at 996 Post Road in Darien and is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 to 4. Now, the DCA Thrift Shop was founded in 1931 to supply clothing and food to families in need and offer employment for women during the Great Depression. Well, today's thrift shop is run by volunteers and continues the tradition of helping the community. They've expanded the merchandise to include jewelry, books, home furnishings, accessories, and much more. Now, more than 1,800 customers make purchases at the shop each month, and all profits support the mission of DCA. More on that prom dress drive at DarienTimes.com. And in other news, about 30 members of Milford Speaks Out, Orange Connecticut Indivisible, and the West Haven Progressive Action Network gathered in Milford over the weekend for Wear Orange Weekend, a national movement aimed at ending gun violence. Now, Milford Speaks Out was one of many Connecticut and national organizations taking part in the Wear Orange campaign, which was created to honor 15-year-old gun victim Hadia Pendleton of Chicago. Now, she was killed in 2013, and June 2nd was her birthday. Now, organizers chose to include the color orange because it's what hunters wear to protect themselves from gunfire. Now, Sarah Bromley of Milford Speaks Out was dismayed, she said, that someone stole signs as she was setting up for the Milford rally on Saturday morning, but that didn't deter her and others from taking a stand against gun violence. She spoke to our Milford Mirror. Take a look.
Gonzalez said in her very famous speech in Florida. She's a Parkland student, one of the more famous Parkland students, I guess. And I had signs like this, and someone took them just before this event. I couldn't believe it. Because I'm a mom, I'm a teacher. I work with babies all day long, and I have to think about how I'm going to save them if a shooter comes in. I shouldn't have to worry about that. I should worry about nurturing the children and caring for them. You know, it's just ridiculous that we, as smart as we are, as wonderful a country as we are, that we can't keep each other safe, and that we can't feel safe going outside, and that we have to be so fearful and think that more guns are going to make us safer. I don't believe that. More guns. I don't believe more guns will make us safer.
There's more on that story now at milfordmirror.com. And the use of New Canaan residences for Airbnb customers is a subject that will be taken up by the Planning and Zoning Commission at an upcoming meeting. Now, New Canaan Commission Chairman John Goodwin told the Advertiser on June 1st that this planned review by P&Z comes after a resident of Butler Lane wrote in a letter to Goodwin that he's unhappy with what he believes to be a house being used for Airbnb across the street from him. Now, the resident expressing that concern, David Hunt, told the Advertiser that he has real specific issues with the house across the street from his being used as what he calls nothing more than a small hotel business. He added that he's raising the issue about New Canaan in general, too. He said he's offended by the for-profit Airbnb business anywhere in a New Canaan residential zone. More on that story at ncadvertiser.com. But we're going to throw it over to Frank Granito now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
All right, Kate. Couple FCX schools in action in the state tournament on Monday. Let's first offer congratulations to the Greenwich boys golf team as they took home the Division I state title following up that tremendous performance last week at the FCX tournament. The Darien Blue Wave, not far off. They set a school record for a low score in a state tournament round, but they were 6 strokes short of the Greenwich Cardinals. The girls' state tournament taking place today. We'll have more on that later on. Congrats to Staples and Ridgefield boys volleyball. They won their semifinal matches last night and advanced to Thursday's championship. Staples defeating East Hartford 3-1 and Ridgefield knocking off Newtown 2-0. Trumbull softball also with a big semi-final win in the Class Double L tournament. They take down Cheshire 6-5. They will look to defend their state title now against number 5 Amity, who defeated Southington 6-5 as well in their semifinal. And a couple big ones in girls lacrosse tonight. New Canaan will take on Darien, and Ridgefield will battle it out with Cheshire in that girls lax tournament. And that is at 5 and 7 o'clock from Brian McMahon. Ridgefield Cheshire the first game, New Canaan Darien the second. We'll get you ready for that later on Nutmeg Sports. For now, though, we'll go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And we're going to step out for a break, come back and recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with the Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. A Better View. Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Western Connecticut State University and nearby schools were placed on a lockdown Monday afternoon after reports arose of a man carrying a gun on campus. Now, it turned out that that man was only a school employee who was carrying a mic stand. Now, the News-Times reports that state and city police officers had surrounded Whitehall shortly before noon after witnesses reported seeing a man with long hair and jeans walk into a building building with what they thought was a long gun. Now, police began a room-by-room search while other officers guarded other campus buildings, and the fire department used a drone to survey rooftops in the area. Now, the News-Times reports that summer classes were underway at the time, and students from Henry Abbott Technical School were using the nursing lab. Officials ordered a lockdown not only on the campus itself, but also on all of the city's public and private schools. Now, university spokesman Paul Stemets said that the employee was one of several in the Media Services Department who routinely videotape high school graduations in the area. Now, according to officials, he was just bringing some equipment into the building that someone mistook as a rifle. And a traffic stop Sunday afternoon on I-95 in West Haven led to the seizure of more than 3,000 ecstasy pills. Now, on June 3rd at about 2:50 in the afternoon, troopers from Troop G in Bridgeport conducted a motor vehicle stop near exit 42 after observing the driver make a cell phone violation. Well, after speaking with that operator, 47-year-old Anthony Pierre, troopers determined some probable cause to search the car, and through the course of that search found approximately 3,300 pills, or over 1,000 grams of MDMA and 4.7 grams of marijuana. Now, in addition, police said 4 children were inside the vehicle at that time, all of whom were related to Pierre. Now, Pierre, who's from Georgia, was taken into custody and transported to Troop G, where he faces several charges, including possession of a controlled substance, possession of hallucinogens with intent to sell, and possession of untaxed controlled substance, and 4 counts of risk of injury to a minor. Now, police say the children were all released to family members. And in other news, the Stratford Police Department is attempting to identify a man who's suspected of stealing credit cards from a vehicle parked at Paradise Green. Police said on Monday that the man was spotted on surveillance cameras stealing the credit cards from a parked car believed to be an older model Honda Accord and then using them at different establishments in town. Police said that car had some damage on its front left bumper. They're asking anyone with information to contact detectives at 203-381-6902. And Ansonia police have charged a man and his wife with allegedly taking thousands of dollars in payments for a home improvement project while allegedly never doing the work. Now, on May 31st, Ansonia police arrested 37-year-old Richard Signor of 71 Emmett Avenue in Derby by warrant. And on June 1st, Ansonia police arrested Melissa Marty Signor, age 36. Now, both face first-degree larceny and conspiracy charges. Signor and Marty Signor are married, and the arrests were the result of an investigation into the company owned by both of them, which is M&R Remodeling. Now, the department received a complaint that the company failed to complete some remodeling work after receiving a payment. The investigation showed that $134,000 was paid to M&R Remodeling for a home addition, and that only $69,000 worth of work was completed before M&R stopped work at that house and allegedly refused to reimburse that unused balance. All right, taking a turn now, we're going to get one final look at your forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
Okay, Kate. Again, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds through this afternoon. Temperatures in the low 70s, a little bit warmer with the humidity on the rise, and we could see a passing thunderstorm in the late afternoon, early evening, along with a couple of showers overnight. Mostly cloudy overnight and carrying into Wednesday morning for another mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Temperatures in the high 60s. We'll see a lot of the same on Thursday. Temperatures in the high 60s, a mix of sun and clouds. But the big issue the next few days we're keeping an eye out for is the high pollen count, an allergy effect in alert, so be cognizant of that. We are back at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Nutmeg Sports. For now, though, we'll send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but we will see you tomorrow with the latest local news and more. Enjoy the day.